All right. Welcome back to my market recap and a look ahead. To my new subscribers, thank you very much for joining my channel. And I hope to continuously try and improve on content that I give out, and that it does add value in some sense to my subscribers, and hopefully try and get that fan base to grow. Okay, so I want to just get into the stock markets. Let's have a look and see what is happening. Try and decipher what is going on, and to try and predict what we can expect in the coming week, not only in the stock markets, but also in the crypto markets itself. So as we can see, the Nasdaq is up, and this has just been record highs actually right across the board here last week, and the Nasdaq just smashing more record highs, and that's a trend that's just going to keep going up. I said that in my previous last video last week, that expect more all-time highs, and that's exactly what's been playing out. But how do we decipher what is going on here? We've got Nasdaq up in green, we've got S&P 500 in red, Dow in red, and the Russell in red. So what is actually going on here? Well, we need to have a look and see. Crude oil is down. So this is not very favorable. This is why you're seeing this down, because it's not, you got to understand that the crude oil props up these markets. So if this is down, expect a mixed reaction. However, why is Nasdaq up in green? Well, that is also very simple. The Dixie is slightly weaker. This is why you're not seeing an all-out red in terms of the stock market. And a weaker US dollar is actually good for the stock market. And this is also why you're seeing gold going up. Okay, so another key indicator here is the VIX. And the VIX is in the greed section, but it's more on the neutral side of things. I'll show this how this works now. Okay, so this is the VIX index. So this is just the neutral line, this black line over here. So pretty much anything above this would be considered fear, and anything below that would be considered as greed. And as you can see, we are in the greed section, but we're hovering more on the neutral side of things. So this is also confirmed by CNN, and as you can see, the fear and greed index, they confirm as well from their side that we are certainly in the greed section, but just hovering more on the neutral side of things. All right, so effectively, there's just no fear in the market right now. I mean, people are expecting the markets to keep going up. The Fed made it very clear there's no tapering, and the market likes that. The market likes the fact that there's money coming in from the Feds. It's really that simple. Let's have a look and see what's happening in store on the calendar for next week. Okay, so just before we get that, we got the asset classes by year-to-date total returns. Bitcoin, oil, commodities, and stocks have been the best performers so far this year, while gold has been the worst performer. However, gold is risk off, and this is perfect buying opportunities in terms of gold. But so is the stock market, simply because of the environment that we're in. Any dips that come into play, take it. Okay, so we got the events calendar. Monday, the US market is actually closed for Labor Day, and then it reopens for Tuesday. But the biggest thing really out of this entire week is actually on Wednesday, and that is the US Jolts Report. And the Jolts here is really the job opening and labor report. And I actually want to show you something very interesting. What I've got here is the GOL, the jobs opening and labor report, which is overlaid onto the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 is in red, and the GOL is actually in blue for the US economy. So what does this actually tell you? So the GOL, if the report comes out and shows an increase in job openings, meaning that there's a recruitment drive for people, that there's jobs, in other words, it actually drives the economy up, and it syncs very well with the S&P 500. However, if there is a decrease in the jobs opening, what that indicates is that there is layoffs in terms of employment, but also that the economy is shrinking, that it's not actually really growing. So it's a very key indicator in terms of what is actually happening in terms of the economy. So if we go here, as we can see, the jobs report disappoints. Only 235,000 positions added versus expectations of 720,000. So the economy, well, not the economy, but the stock market currently enjoys hearing bad news. So this is good news for the stock market, but overall for the economy, it's actually bad news. So effectively, nothing's going to stop the stock market. As mentioned, it just keeps going up and up and up. But you've also got to realize with the GOL, that comes out every month. And I'm expecting an increase in the jobs opening for the next 3 months. And the reason why I say that is the following. Okay, and that's the infrastructure bill. Yeah. So these charts show which states will get the most money from Biden's infrastructure bill. And that's very key. So if we have a look here, the Senate overwhelmingly approved the $1 trillion infrastructure bill earlier this month. The House aims to pass the bill by October. And if we have a look how they've broken this down in terms of industry sectors, roads, passengers, public, airports, ports, road safety, we've got high-speed internet, things like that. And if we have a look at environmental remediation, that's pollution, that's $21 billion. So this gives you a good indication where to start placing your money. But this is why I'm saying in the next 3 months, I'm expecting more job openings because, of course, you've got to hire labor and skilled engineers and professionals in their discipline for all of these type of industry sectors. So that is what the whole drive in terms of the economic drive, boosting that economy up. So that can start catching up to where we currently are in the US stock market, so the two can get related again. But that's an impossible task, to be honest with you. The US is in such massive, and they're not the only ones, but massive debt currently. So just to recap, and what to expect really on Monday, like I said, the US economy is closed, so I'm not expecting a great stock market in a sense of the rest of the world. However, Tuesday might be critical just to see what happens with crude oil globally, and see how that could potentially set up play for Tuesday. But let's see what happens. Just keep your eye on crude oil. That's what I'm watching at. So I'm also looking out for any massive events in terms of crude oil, because like I said, you got to understand crude oil does help prop up the stock market. It is the energy sector, the lifeblood that pumps that juggernaut or hegemon, which is the US. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on for next week. Okay, so let's dive into the cryptocurrency side and let's see what we can expect with cryptocurrency going into next week. Just all-rounder, Nigeria plans CBDC rollout, Salvadorian retirees protest Bitcoin law, Twitter to add BTC and ETH tipping feature. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, Nigeria central bank partners with fintech firm Bit Inc. For CBDC rollout. But the report also surfaced on September the 2nd that the central banks of Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, and South Africa announced a joint initiative dubbed Project Dunbar to trial international settlements using CBDCs. So this is pretty much the end of stablecoins, to be honest with you. There will be stablecoins, but more linked to commodities like gold and silver. Right, so then we've got retirees in El Salvador protest against Bitcoin adoption. I'm not really going to go into that. I mean, that's just really an older generation not understanding disruptive technologies. I mean, it's really that simple. CryptoPunks creators signed with leading Hollywood agents as sales top 305 million in a week. That's actually quite fantastic. And then we've got Twitter to allow users to add BTC and ETH addresses to profiles. All right, I just want to dive into that slightly. And as we can see here, Twitter is working to allow you to add your Bitcoin and Ethereum address to your profile to receive tips via a tip jar feature. I think this is so cool. I mean, imagine getting like little tips in Bitcoin or Ethereum just for sending a tweet. I mean, I'll take that all day long. I mean, who wouldn't? So this is a really great experiment and adoption into social media itself. So let's, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, anybody on Twitter should be very excited about this. I mean, yeah. Right, let's see what's happening next week. This is very, very historical. Next week, El Salvador will become the first country to accept Bitcoin as currency. This is monumental for Bitcoin. And this is very bullish for Bitcoin. It's really, we are living in exciting times, to be honest with you. Okay, so just look out for that. We're getting some very nice bullish momentum. Key indicator really just here alone for Bitcoin. Now, I want to tap in to see what can we expect next week in terms of the altcoins and Bitcoin, and where money is currently flowing and where it's going to be flowing to. So this is Dune Analytics, and this is really on the NFT market here. So we could really see from the 29th of August, it's been cooling off. The NFT market has actually been cooling off. So where is this money going? Where are these profits going? Because it's not going back into the NFT, it's going somewhere else. And I'll show that right now. This is the perpetual contracts for the DeFi and also for Bitcoin. The orange here is actually Bitcoin, and the other graph here is DeFi derivatives. So again, you got a very bullish indicator here. You're going to have a golden cross coming up in terms of the 50-day moving average and the 200 moving day average. As you can see, momentum, the trend line is currently up, and Bitcoin does seem to be looking to stabilize at 50k. It's looking to just consolidate, just build that floor before it starts to tackle that all-time high. Now, what am I expecting for next week? Well, I've just shown you where money is moving out of in terms of NFT. It's going into DeFi now. Bitcoin is consolidating, but will carry on pushing up. There's a very big event happening for Bitcoin next week. So I'm expecting Bitcoin, and I'm expecting the altcoins to go up. Right, so this is from blockchaincenter.net and altcoin season index, right? So the altcoin month index, we are firmly in altcoin month. We were starting to get into that towards the back end of August, and now we are in it proper in terms of September. The altcoin season index over here, we are still in Bitcoin season. But just understand, Bitcoin is currently consolidating. I am going to expect this to move this way, simply off the back news of what's happening in Salvador. And then we got altcoin year index is sitting at 67 with the altcoins. And if we carry on going down here, we got the top 50 performance over the last season. So over the last 90 days, pretty much you need to just have a look at these type of altcoins in terms of positioning yourself, in terms of trying to get more profits, because as mentioned, the altcoins are going to go up, and so is Bitcoin. And if we have a look here, the top 50 performers over the last 30 days, again, just do some homeworks here. AVAX is got some really good potential further growth in terms of their position. I don't think they're done at all, and as mentioned, they are looking to play heavily in the DeFi space, so they are certainly one that you want to have a look at in terms of growth in the space. Right, and then the top 50 performers over the last year, and so far the winner seems to be Doge. That's just a really silly amount of percentage growth. That's crazy. All right, so yeah, guys, that's pretty much what I'm expecting next week. I'm expecting altcoins and Bitcoins to go up. I'm expecting a little bit of a mixed reaction in terms of the stock markets on Monday, but the US, as mentioned, is closed on Monday. But let's see how the rest of the world operates. Keep your eye on crude oil. That will be extremely important in terms of the opening day on Tuesday. All right, so a little bit of a mixed bag, unfortunately. Because all the key indicators are not really there. I need crude oil to be in the green in order to give a confirmation that the stock markets will actually go higher on Tuesday. All right, so just keep your eye on that. Okay, guys, trade safe. This is Chris Trade. Peace.